Friends, I got carried away and I built my own custom e-learning platform inside of Webflow. Let's check it out. Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name's Connor. I'm the founder of the Unicorn Factory, a freelancer marketplace in Canada and in New Zealand. So I use this channel here to make tutorials teaching people how they can build their own no-code marketplaces or directories using Webflow, Airtable, and Zapier. So today I am not going to be talking about marketplaces. I want to show you an e-learning platform that I built using the Webflow, Airtable, Memberstack, and Zapier stack. As some of you may already know, besides running the Unicorn Factory, I also run my own consulting business where I teach people how they can build their own directories and marketplaces using the same tools that I use to build the Unicorn Factory. Now, one of the things that I recently started working on for the students that I've been working with is a little e-learning platform where I basically post tutorials like these where they can rewatch it in their own time so that they can build additional features on top of what they're already doing. So obviously there are already tools out there that you can use to build e-learning platforms like Podia or Teachable. And I did a little bit of research, but I ended up deciding to have a little crack at building it myself inside of Webflow and then using Airtable and Zapier to basically build the database and set up all the automation. So what I'm going to be doing in this video is taking you behind the scenes of it, showing you how it's all set up, and then at the end of the video I am going to tell you what makes more sense. Should you build a custom version of your e-learning platform, or should you just stick to the existing tools that are already out there? But before we get into it, you know what I'm gonna ask. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, makes me feel good, makes me wanna make more of these videos. But without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so here we are. So of course I'm using Memberstack to run the user portal inside of Webflow. What we're looking at here is the user only page that is built inside of the Webflow CMS. So this is actually something that I haven't done before. And what you can do with Memberstack is you can create member only pages where you create a CMS collection inside of Webflow for your students, and then you can build them their own unique dashboards. Now, what's cool about building your dashboards with the Webflow CMS is you can add more data-rich things in there, for example, links, videos, and images. So at the moment, it's pretty simplistic. I only have a bunch of links in there to our Zoom recordings and their Webflow marketplaces and their Airtable links, but I've got a lot of plans for this particular section in the future. So what I want to do is I want to include things like little quizzes or progress reports and all those types of things. And basically the way it will work is every single student on the platform will have their own unique CMS page that they have access to, where they can kind of just see how things are going, what the next few steps are. And so being able to use the members only feature inside of Memberstack has been really fantastic. And that was actually one of the key reasons why I wanted to just try and build this myself first. So obviously the main part of the learning portal is the lessons pages. So I have a bunch of lessons that I've uploaded already. And again, it's pretty straightforward. I use this year to host all of the different videos, and then I create a Webflow CMS collection for the lessons, and I just basically upload all of this information into here. Now, one little thing that I've added that is quite fun is a resource section. So what I did was I created a separate collection for links to different resources or different action items. So in this case, I have added a link to a Google Sheet where they can basically create a metrics dashboard for their marketplace, and I can just link that through the Webflow collection, and that has been a real fun little add-on to add to the site. So other than that, there's not a lot much else inside of this user portal right now. My top priority with this, and the whole reason why I started working on this in the first place, was just so that I could create these videos that would allow my students to prepare or to even just recap some of the things that they learned in our coaching sessions. And so really what I'm spending most of my time on at the moment is just creating more videos and resources that I can add to the site. And yeah, so that is kind of where I am with it now. But I just also want to show you now some of the workflows and some of the behind the scenes things that I'm doing with Webflow, Zapier, and Airtable. So inside of Airtable, I kind of have my main dashboard with all of my lessons and different themes where I can add videos and update descriptions for the different texts and all those types of things. So what I'm doing at the moment is I plan out all of my videos in here, and then what I do is I just go and write the outline and then I just start recording the video. As soon as I've recorded the video, I also write the about section, and then from there I have a workflow set up that then allows me to send all of the information that I populated in here to Webflow. So once all of that information has been sent to Webflow, it automatically populates the different fields. And what's cool about that is that I can now actually control the data flow from inside of Airtable, which means that if I add any new videos that are in between two existing videos, then I can automatically update things like the next lesson link or the previous lesson link or the orientation link. While we're at it, I may as well show you the resource and action section. So what I do here is I have a link to a resource. For example, in this particular case, I link to an introduction about the box model inside of Webflow. And what I do here is I just populate it. I select the lesson that I want it to be sent to. And once that's all linked up, it then automatically adds through a collection list that I added to the lessons page. So in terms of Zaps, you know, because it's early days, I don't have that many yet, but I do have one where I send the tutorials from Airtable to Webflow. So again, it's the standard steps of creating a new record in view, creating the actual lessons page inside of Webflow, and then using the custom request step to also send through any additional resources that I might want to link to that particular lesson. I also have set up a workflow for when I add a new student to my accounts. So I create the accounts in Memberstack at the moment, but what that then does is it automatically creates a Google Drive folder where I store all of the videos that we from our one-on-one sessions. Then it also creates a new user in the accounts table inside of Airtable. It creates the dashboard, and then it does a whole bunch of updates to Memberstack into Airtable just so all the data sits in the right place. And so that is the first version of my e-learning platform. Obviously, it's still very early days. It doesn't have a lot of features, but it was a very fun use case to experiment with inside of the Airtable, Webflow, and Zapier stack. But now the question becomes, is building an e-learning platform using this stack better than actually using one of the existing tools? Let's first of all have a look at how much it actually costs to use my stack to build an e-learning platform. So Memberstack is $25 a month. I don't actually process any of my transactions through Memberstack, so I don't get affected by the transaction fee. Then Webflow is $25 to $50. Depending if you already have an account, you don't need to pay extra for an account plan, but I use CMS hosting for this, so that is definitely another $25. I do, however, already pay for the CMS hosting for my personal website, which this e-learning platform is built on. So to me, that is not really an additional cost. Then Airtable is $25, but again, I'm already using Airtable, so I'm paying for the pro plan that would otherwise cost $25. Then Zapier can be between $25 and $50, which again, I'm already paying for because I'm using it for other platforms like the Unicorn Factory. And then the only real thing that I did have to pay for was Wistia to host all of my videos. So I pay Wistia $99 a month, and that is something that is reasonably expensive, but it is a really great platform. You can do really fantastic things with the videos. For example, automatically generating captions, adding chapter titles to your videos, and the whole branding functionality is quite nice as well. So really the main cost that I personally have is an additional $125 a month, which is the additional Memberstack plan and the Wistia account. But if you were to start from scratch, you can see quite quickly that it does add up to quite a bit. Now the question is, what makes more sense, building it yourself or just using a platform like Teachable or Podia? So as you all know, I'm very biased towards building online platforms yourself using Webflow, Airtable, and Zapier. But I can tell you right now, there is absolutely zero reason why you should be building your own custom e-learning platform with platforms like Podia or Teachable already out there. No matter how you look at it, in every regard, using a platform like Teachable or Podia just makes more sense because for starters, it's a lot cheaper. So the prices of using even the more advanced plans that they have on their websites, it can range anything between $79 and $99. I am just paying that for Wistia, and Wistia is actually included in these platforms, which means that you'll actually save money by just using a platform like Teachable or Podia. So the second thing is you just get way more useful functionality using a platform like Teachable and Podia. So they have a whole bunch of tools and systems already set up that allow you to integrate third-party tools to set up an affiliate marketing program, all those types of things. So honestly, you'd have to build all of those things from scratch inside of Webflow, Airtable, and Zapier. And a lot of the features that they have, you couldn't even really rebuild with that stack. But what if you want to really customize the look and feel of your e-learning platform? Even then, you can actually customize a whole lot with those platforms. So really the marginal benefit that you get from using a design tool like Webflow, which is definitely better, you won't actually get all the benefits that you get from the existing inbuilt features of these e-learning platforms. So even if you are already a Webflow wizard, you know your way around Airtable, you know heaps about Zapier, you should definitely just stick to using a platform that is already built and fit for purpose. With all that being said, I should probably explain why I decided to build my own custom e-learning platform instead of just using Podia or Teachable. Now, the main reason why I wanted to build it from scratch was mostly because I wanted to try out some different use cases using the Airtable, Webflow, and Zapier stack. I'm always really interested to see how far you can take these tools, what kind of use cases they solve and what use cases they don't solve. In this case, building an e-learning platform just happened to align with the kind of consulting work that I'm doing, and it was just a really good way to experiment with different types of features that the AWZ stack has. So if my priority was to build an e-learning platform or an online course, I would definitely just use Podia or Teachable to build it. And that is only because the focus should be on the course creation, not on the building of the platform. So in conclusion, if you want to practice your Airtable, Webflow, and Zapier stack skills, then this is definitely a fun, interesting use case to try out. But if your main goal is to build an online platform or an e-learning platform, then just use one of the existing tools that are already out there. With that being said, I hope this was an informative video. If it was, please hit like, please subscribe to the channel, and I'll be making more of these fun videos in the future. Other than that, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Goodbye.